Live streaming is on.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon. This is now my English language class, which I am going to take. I hope that all of you are having the book prescribed in your syllabus with you. Please let me know. Are you ready with the book? Students, आपके पास book है?
No, ma'am.
No, I know. There is a book prescribed in this syllabus. If you have pen and paper, I can tell you the name of the book. The name of the book is Foundation English, published by MP Hindi Granth Academy, Bhopal. Right. So this is the book prescribed in your syllabus. I think that I have to start with lesson number 10 because we have already finished with lesson 9. So I'm going to begin with lesson number 10. If you do not have the book, I will concentrate again on giving you a slide summary on the lesson number 10 prescribed in the book Foundation English, and that is the title of the lesson is Fighting Diseases. Now, fighting diseases is a very relevant topic, I can say, in today's context. We are all facing the severe acute problems due to COVID-19, the corona disease, and the whole life has been changed. Not only for us in India, but also all over the world. Throughout the world, people are suffering, people are having problems. Millions of people have already died. So we know how difficult it is to fight a disease. And this essay concentrates in lesson number 10 of Foundation English. It concentrates on this idea of fighting diseases. So if you look at it, the essay speaks about two things. If you break the topic of the title of the lesson, it is fighting diseases. Now, what are we going to fight? We have to fight the diseases. So, the first thing is that are discussed in the lesson is diseases. And then the remedies. How to fight these diseases, right? So, in the beginning, it has been made clear by the writer that human beings, since the beginning of civilization, right from the beginning of civilization, human beings are prone to get sick. They are prone to diseases. Earlier you might have heard about chicken pox, you might have heard about bird flu, you might have heard about plague, you might have heard about malarial fever, and so on. So we find that human beings, we are all having a physical body and it has its own mechanism. It has its own mechanism, and there are a number of germs and bacteria that are, you can say, they are all after us, after the body, after human body. So the main thing is that we have to develop immunity to fight these diseases. But even before that, the one basic thing which we can do is, first of all, we should try to avoid getting sick. This is the first thing. And that is why, we have to take care of our body. Not only we have to take care of our body, we have to take care of our eating habits. We have to closely watch what do we eat and how much we eat. And not only that, what to eat and what not to eat. Because the germs and bacteria are these things which are always after us. I can use the word, they are the enemies that are after our body. So as soon as we become sick, or as soon as we become less alarmed, less alert, if we throw the guard against any kind of disease, we will become sick. We will be attacked by various germs and diseases. The writer says, he gives a long description of how millions of people have died because the field of medicine was not developed earlier. Now we are fortunate enough that we are living in this world, in this century, when we have so many medicines for even the most complicated kind of diseases. And for very serious, ailments, we have equipments, we have gadgets, we have, things to find out. Like today, we have MRIs and CT scan machines and so on. So medically, we, so far as medical advancement is concerned, we have come a long, long way. And that is why I can give you again an example of COVID-19 that, within a year we have been able to do so many experiments that we are almost about on the verge of getting a vaccine, an effective remedy for this kind of serious ailment like corona. The writer speaks about the first thing that he begins with human civilization, and he tells us that in the initial days, people used to rely on nature. People used to rely on various herbs and various kinds of cure they used to find inside by getting close to nature, by staying close to nature, and that is why they have been able to cure a lot many diseases without any consultation from the so-called doctors, or without getting any vaccines or medicines at all. But over the years, the people became more aware of how to live, what to eat, what not to eat, and gradually they have realized that they have to build a very strong immunity system to survive and live a healthy, satisfied life. And then he discusses about the germs, that most of the diseases occur due to various kinds of bacteria and insects. There are snake bites, there are a number of incidents of snake bites or attack of insects, and people become sick because of them. Then again, there is malaria is one good example of such kind of diseases. Then there are bacteria, a number of bacteria. They are found in water, they are found in air, they are found in almost everywhere around us. And because of them again, there are diseases, a number of diseases, a number of serious diseases are there, which are fatal also at times. So we have to take care of all these things by having a very cautious life. That is why the saints of ancient times, in our Indian mythology in particular, they used to say that we have to live a very, hygienic kind of life. By this, we mean that, we have to live according to the laws of the nature. Get up early in the morning, and schedule your day in such a way that you should be asleep by the night. Take the lunch time is to be fixed, the dinner time is to be fixed, and breakfast time is to be fixed, and what to eat. That is also to be done in a thoughtful way, in a nutritive way. That a nutritious diet is always good. So we have to take care of that also. It saves us from various attacks of bacteria. And a number of diseases can be avoided if we follow a strict, regular regime for our day-long activities. The process is I'm sorry, when we talk about these germs and bacteria, the writer focuses his idea on how, with the development in the field of medicine, there have been cures for several bacterial attacks, bacterial diseases, as well as from the germs. Now, penicillin, he says, penicillin is an important antibiotic, a very vital antibiotic. If you remember some 50, 60 years back, penicillin was the only antibiotic which was given for almost all diseases. Students, please mute yourself. Please mute yourself. In the later part, we find as the medicinal development in the medicines were done and experimentations were on, so penicillin came as a very strong antibiotic. And as I was telling you, that some 60, 70 years back, penicillin was considered as the only antibiotic for a number of diseases. For instance, tuberculosis and other diseases were cured by giving penicillin and other antibiotics. Now, what happens? The writer says that when we have, our body, please, students, mute yourself. Kindly mute yourself. You are disturbing others. Please mute yourself. So we find that there are a number of antibiotics. अपना माइक बंद करिए, mute yourself. Please mute yourself. So now we find the writer says that we should not go for any kind of antibiotic, although antibiotic is an essential part to cure us from a number of infections. But at the same time, he says that there is a kind of mechanism in our own body which we call as antibody. So our body heals itself. The thing is that he wants to say that our body has a power to heal ourselves. It can heal a number of things on its own. Because the body is such that when some outwardly external thing in the form of bacteria or germ enters into our body, the body reacts and tries to form, it resists and then it tries to form an antibody to throw it out of our system, out of our body. So initially, in the initial stages, the body itself acts as a doctor. It becomes its own doctor, tries to cure the problem by its own mechanism. It tries to throw away by making one antibody, it tries to throw away a number of bacteria and germs, and we hardly know about it when something entered into our system and how it has been, stopped and removed by our own organ functioning by making antibodies. So this is an important aspect which the lesson covers, but at the same time, it also speaks about some antibiotics, like I have given you an example of penicillin. Apart from that, there are antibiotics today for each and every disease. There is a separate antibiotic for a particular thing, and there is certain other medication for some other ailment. And in this way, we find that there is a series of antibiotics today. We are again repeating the same thing, that we are so very fortunate to have these developments happening in the field of medicine, that we have been able to scan each and every part of our body, and not only that, we have cured most of the very prevalent diseases that we are having, and at every age there is an attack of some.
मैम
Yes, is there any problem?
मैम अच्छे से आवाज नहीं आ रहे हैं, कम कम आ रहे हैं।
कब कब आती है, चलिए मैं कोशिश तो करती हूँ, पर मुझे लग रहा है मेरी आवाज आप तक जा रही है। आपको लग रहा है कि नहीं जा रही?
आ रहे हैं मैम, मतलब लेकिन कम कम आ रहे हैं, बहुत कम।
आप कहाँ से हो? कॉलेज से हो आप?
रायपुर से मैम।
रायपुर से ही हो? कॉलेज में पूछा, जगह नहीं पूछी थी। हेलो,
यस मैम।
I asked about your college. Which college?
यस मैम, डीबी गर्ल्स से।
Okay. So, now I think I'm audible now. I'm audible now.
यस मैम।
Am I audible?
यस मैम, अब आ रहे हैं थोड़ा सा।
Fine. So, please mute yourself. I can hear some voices. जब तक आप लोग बंद नहीं करोगे तो डिस्टर्बेंस तो रहेगा। सब लोग अपने माइक को म्यूट करिए। I can hear some voices. There are so many sounds coming. That is what is disturbing the students. जितने भी अपना माइक ऑन किया हुआ है, प्लीज उसको बंद करो। a lot of sound is there. Hello. Now can you hear me? There is some disturbance going on. Who is talking? Please don't talk. It is disturbing all of us. It is disturbing all of us. You see. So now, please अपनी माइक बंद करिए आप लोग स्टूडेंट्स माइक बंद करिए आपकी आवाज आ रही है यहाँ वहाँ की आवाज आ रही है others are also getting disturbed please okay so we were discussing about this lesson fighting diseases and in this lesson the author as I told you just to give brush you up he was trying to tell us that diseases have always been there right from the beginning of human civilization and they are there people in every age has been able to find a remedy in their own ways. Why? Because depending on the kind of life they were leading, depending on the different regions where they were living, they have been able to find a cure of it all. But we as human beings now we have come after so many centuries have gone in every century we have been fighting with one or the other disease and in every century we have been able to find out this is very special that we have been able to find out a remedy for all such diseases and we have been able to cure a number of diseases. Now, if you analyze the whole scene, you will find how many diseases are there in this world. How many? Look at the large number. There is this problem, that problem, skin problem, heart problem, stomach problem. So many problems, so many diseases, so many bacteria. You cannot imagine if you make some taste of water, you will be surprised to find how many bacteria can you see there in water which seems to be very pure, very pure. But at the same time, if you go for testing, you will find not only in these, but in other things also, you will find that there are so many things so many insects and bacteria all around us that if we start analyzing everything, it becomes very difficult to breathe even in this world because now we have other problems in this century. Although we have medicinally we have grown a lot. So far as the experiments and development in medicinal world is concerned, we have come a long way. As I said, we have done a lot of progress, unimaginable, unbelievable progress we have done. But at the same time, we still have so much to do and a lot many things depend upon the day-to-day daily routine that we follow, the way we live, the way we lead our lives because when we live, when we eat, it is not the food is being prepared but the food is not prepared for one single person. It is prepared for all in the family. And this you can apply to the larger canvas that all of us are eating food. But have you ever thought about the pesticides that we are using, the kind of chemicals that we are using, not only in the vegetation and other things, but in other things, in other aspects also, in fruits, we are breathing so much pollution. So these are all creating the kind of very dangerous, very harmful scenario or atmosphere all around us, we are living, if I can say it very blankly and bleakly, that in a very abrupt manner, that we are living in a world which is full of infected air, infected water, polluted air, polluted water, and there is pollution everywhere, not only in the body but also in the mind, and that is why we have a number of psychological problems. Psychiatry over the years has emerged as a very serious branch, a very trendy branch, a very demanding branch of medicine nowadays. So we are still, although the writer has not mentioned this, but let me clarify, by fighting diseases, what he wanted to convey? He wanted to convey that fighting diseases is not the job of a doctor only. Everyone is a doctor in his or her own way. Why and how? Why? Because we have to take care of ourselves, because it is our body, our being, which is to be saved from all kinds of bacteria and germs and all kinds of toxins that we have in this world, in this outside world. We have to protect ourselves, our body from diseases. This is one way, the one message that the writer wants to convey, that fighting diseases should start from himself, the individual himself. And later on, the other aspects will follow, other things will follow. Medicines comes next. Medicines, they have a kind of, you can say, it is a kind of secondary role to play. You have to fight diseases. You have to first protect yourself from diseases. Then you should try to have a kind of immunity system which should create antibody in your system on its own, and try to throw away whatever is not required, whatever is not healthy, and whatever is harmful for the body on its own. There is no need for medicines in the initial description of given by the writer. But he says, even when at all, if you have got some kind of disease, let the antibodies fight. They fight on their own, and we hardly know when we are sick and when we are over with it. This is the wonderful function that the antibodies play in our system. But at the same time, we find that once we are sick, we should immediately try to go to the doctor. Because normally speaking, it is a general tendency that we keep on avoiding. That okay, I will be fine, it will be over, and it is only a matter of time. I'll take some rest and everything will be over. But most of the times, it increases the problem. And the trouble begins to get reflected. And at times, it gets fatal also. Because of the negligence that we have. When we have some disease, we must immediately go and consult the doctor. And the writer refers that there are a number of antibiotics and medicines for each and every disease nowadays, and that has to be taken after only the consultation of the doctor. The writer refers that penicillin, he refers to the antibiotic penicillin and how it has come as a wonderful medicine of all times, because the TB, which was a very common disease during the period of 1960s and 50s, it has been cured because of the invention of penicillin. and by the end of 1990, the cases have decreased. Although I cannot say that they have it is removed from the world. We do not have any TB patient. TB patients are still there, but the number has decreased. Earlier, we had a large number of people had to sacrifice their lives. They gave their life due to this disease. Once penicillin as an antibiotic has been invented, there has been a remarkable change in the cure number of cases. Please don't. There is some disturbance that I can hear. Please. To switch off your mic, mute your mics. Please mute your microphones as early as possible. You are disturbing not only yourself but others also. So with the emergence of antibiotics, we have seen that the medical science has grown, and today, as I have already mentioned, that there are a number of varied varieties, several varieties of antibodies are there, which are specific now medicines for specific diseases. So fighting diseases in itself is now possible with the emergence, with the coming in of a number of antibiotics, and antibiotics can be termed as life-saving drugs today. And we earlier used to have only penicillin or one or two antibiotics are there, and they were used to cure almost all kinds of ailments. But nowadays we have developed so much that for each and every kind of disease we have a different set of chemical combinations available in the market in the form of antibiotics, and which have made the fighting which have become a very strong medium, a vital tool to fight diseases. But the misuse is also there. We find that people take antibiotic in the name of a common flu or fever only. You get some kind of flu and people say, why don't you take antibiotic? But antibiotics has its own harms. It has its own side effects. So it should be taken only as per the doctor's prescription, and it should be taken only after the consultation of the doctor. So the overall, if you assess the lesson fighting diseases, talks about the beginning of human civilization and how we have been prone to a number of ailments, a number of diseases, and how a large number of people have lost their lives due to non-availability of any kind of medicine during that period of time. And now, over the years, as we developed, as human civilization kept on improving itself, making experiments and inventions, today we are satisfied, we are happy to note that there are many number of diseases have now come in the category of curable diseases. Because earlier there were curable diseases and there were incurable diseases. As soon as there was a time when people used to, if you used to tell them that okay, I am a TB patient, they will say that okay, you are done now. Because there was no cure for it. But now things have changed. We have grown much. We have developed much. Medical science has done a miraculous growth by means of equipment, by means of making medicines, by means of inventing a number of ways to find out various diseases. So we are living in a world where we can say that we are safe and secure. But at the same time, the author of this essay, Fighting Diseases, named as Naveen Sullivan. Naveen Sullivan has recommended this that we should better go to create our immunity in such a way. Our immune system should be such that we should not require any diseases. Let the antibodies do all the work, and how do the antibodies will be created? If we have a very strong institution, constitution, and we should have a kind of making in our we should be guarded to all the diseases. We should lead a hygienic life so that our antibodies are easily formed, and that can come only by having a better immune system, by following a healthy lifestyle, by developing good eating habits, and by living a very disciplined kind of life. So this was the overall summary of the essay prescribed in your book, lesson number 10, Fighting Diseases. Okay, if you have any queries to make, you can very well ask me. Hello. If you have any queries to make, you can very well ask me, or anyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Any query or no query? If you have any problem with my
No, ma'am.
okay then. Thank you very much, all of you. Goodbye. See you tomorrow, same time. Thank you very
Thank you, ma'am.
much. Bye bye. Bye bye.
See you tomorrow. सेम टाइम यही टाइम पे मिलेंगे कल. क्लास के कोई बैठे कॉलेज हेलो, कोई है लवन कॉलेज से? एवरीवन? कोई है लवन कॉलेज से? कोई नहीं रखते। क्लास खत्म है, बफला था बस। हेम, हेम, कोई नहीं यार, मूवी चला था।